Discipline is what you need to have in your 20s. Discipline. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucy. If you're new, hey girl, I hope you subscribe. Please subscribe, okay? Stay. Today's video is going to be, part of my girl boss, feminine self-care, type videos, because you guys know that I love to do this kind of videos on my channel. I like to embrace my femininity. I like to give you guys my tips. I like to talk to you guys about, different things, life experiences, being a female, growing up, how to take care of yourself, all that good stuff. Okay, today's video is not going to be any different from those type of videos. This video is going to be ways to glow up or level up in your 20s, basically. And I feel like I am in that position that I can actually talk about this now, being like my birthday was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I turned 27, so being a 27-year-old youngin, I feel like I'm at that position mentally, just all round in that position to talk to you guys about these things, okay? Like how I feel like you could do better in your 20s. I feel like me still being in my 20s and I'm still going through the process. I do have a lot of experiences. I have learned a lot, so I really want to share this. Even if you think that you're late to everything that I might be talking about right now, and you're still in your 20s, even if you're still in your 30s, sis, you can still implement them and actually change your life as long as you still have breath in you. That's basically what I was trying to say. Now, I wrote down my good old Guinness book. Let's just jump right into the first two. So let's talk about dating in your 20s. This is actually the first topic on my list because dating is very crucial in your 20s, being a female. Listen, I feel like I need to drop my note for this. Listen, very crucial because I actually did make a lot of mistakes when it comes to like my dating life in my 20s. Date, explore. I'm not saying to play games. I'm not saying to be irresponsible on the streets. I'm not saying to live your life like you don't have a future. I'm not telling you to do all of that. I'm just telling you to not be as serious. Don't be looking for your husband, basically, in your 20s. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's destiny is definitely different. There are people that actually meet their husbands or their soulmates when they're 19 and actually end up marrying them like 20 years after, 5 years after, 2 years after. Listen, everyone's journey is different. If it comes, yes, it comes, but it shouldn't be like a focus that, oh, I'm dating because you know what, like I have to die on the line. No, you don't, sis. Whatever situation you are in it's not always the best for you. You would always find someone better, someone smarter, someone prettier, someone finer, someone with better abs, someone who is more stable. There are lots of more opportunities for you, even in your 30s. Your 20s is when you really get to know yourself, and that's what you should be focused on, getting to know yourself more. Because if you don't know yourself, don't expect somebody else to know you. And also, your 20s is when you actually sit down and learn to love yourself and do it abundantly. Because if you do not love yourself, sis, there is absolutely no way someone would love you. I know that a lot of people that say in your 20s, just live your life, do all this, like don't even bother about what could happen to you. No, that's how you make mistakes that will last you a lifetime. One thing you need to also understand is how your 30s and the rest of your life actually comes out, how it's presented. What happens then is actually cultivated from your 20s. So you need to be disciplined, okay? And discipline all around in your life also goes with being disciplined in being in a relationship, in dating. The next thing is finances. In your 20s, obviously, like I said in the previously, like everyone's destiny is different. You come from different backgrounds. There are people that come from nothing. There are people that come from a lot. There are people that are just in the middle. Like it just depends on who you are, where you're from, just generally like the opportunities that you have that other people don't have. It's different. That's what I'm trying to say. So finances, your 20s. Your 20s is when you actually cultivate the healthy habits of putting your finances together to shape your future, your 30s, 40s, the rest of your life. So you don't need that Gucci bag. You don't need that LV belt. You don't need that Chanel bag or whatever it is you're seeing your favorite influencer or celebrity rock. They actually have a better opportunity than you do, and even if you do have the same opportunity, kudos to you, but I feel like you should make smart choices when it comes to your finances, because being in your 20s, being a female, You need to be independent, and you need to cultivate like good habits that could last you a lifetime. And finances, sis, I can understand that in this our present day and age, everything can just be piercing you in the eye, especially with social media, with how life is being portrayed right now on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's literally unbelievable. So there's always that constant need to keep up. There's always that constant need to, you know, follow the trend. There's always that constant need to actually be popping, basically. I get there's pressure all around, but you need to understand that it's not real life. It is really not real life. It's very difficult because I'm laughing about it, but then to be honest with you, it's a major issue that we face right now when it comes to, you know, how life is portrayed these days and how everyone wants to be this, how everyone wants to emulate this, how everyone wants to wear this, be here, have this party, all this stuff. I get the pressure. That's the reason why I started the video with discipline. Discipline is what you need to have in your 20s. Discipline. The sense of responsibility, the sense of the know. You need to know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who to do it with, basically. In your 20s, you probably maybe still live with your parents, which, to be honest, if you have the opportunity to move out, you can. If you don't, but you feel like it's a trend and you have to do it, don't do it. If you cannot afford something 4 times at that very moment that you want it, not need it, then you can't afford it at all. And that's point blank, period. The third thing I'm going to talk about is cultivating habits of learning. This is also very important because people think that, oh, it's when you're in your 30s, that's when you now have to think about what you want to do career-wise. That's when you have to look for your passion. I don't know who came up with that theory or who came up with that idea or where people actually learned that from, but that's completely false. In your 20s, that's when you should start to find your passion, know what you want to specialize in, look for extra skills. When I mean like look for extra skills, you should look for extra skills when you've already found your passion. You've gained knowledge in that, extra knowledge in that passion. Try to be an expert in that passion. Monetize the passion. Oh my God. Monetize the passion. When you're done, you repeat the cycle again with a new skill that you will learn. That's how you begin to accumulate wealth. I can't stress this enough because this actually builds you up for what you become in your 30s. Now, this one is the 4th important one on this list, and this is friendships. Oh God, I could sit down for hours and talk about friendships. I could sit down for hours and talk about, you know, how you don't need some certain type of friends in your life, especially in your 20s. But let me just keep it short and sweet. You see toxic friendships, you can clock it with your 20s. Don't say that you're clouded or your mind isn't there, or maybe you didn't think that your brain was mature enough to think about someone as toxic. You can clock it if you're responsible enough. You can clock it if you put your head down. Friendships, relationships, toxic drains your energy. Let go of it. Cut it. Your 20s is basically when you build and create like friendships and bonds that last you a lifetime. You can always meet people at any point in your life, even in your 30s, even in your 40s, and they would actually be the best people in your life. In our 20s, we're usually like, you know, much more eager to explore life than like in our 30s. So that's the reason why I'm just like, you should be conscious of the amount of people that you relate with, who you relate with, how you relate with them, what impact do they have in your life. Check it, because if you don't, that could ruin your life. I'm not even trying to be deep or anything, but that's the truth. The kind of friendships that you cultivate or keep around you in your 20s definitely does affect what happens for the rest of your life. My 5th tip would be to explore. And when I mean explore, I mean try to travel. I know that a lot of you that are going to say, oh, what if I can't afford it? What if like we're not as opportune or privileged? Now this is where mindset comes into play. I know you're going to say, oh, not everyone has the opportunity to travel. Not everyone can basically get money up and leave, all of that. If you're determined, you will. I'm here to tell you that right now, that if you're determined to do better in your life, you would work towards it. And that's the truth. You need to travel because that way you need to experience life from a different point of view. You can't be stuck in that city, that little city of yours, and expect to experience the full package of life. You can't be stuck in that little city of yours and think that you know it all, you've seen it all. I'm here to tell you that you haven't. Until you stand up from that chair that you are, work hard to be able to afford, even if it's a trip a year, you go somewhere new, you experience culture, meet new people, interact, network with a whole different culture, with a whole different mindset, with a whole different environment, scenery, whatever. You make it a plan and you work towards it and it will happen. When you're much older, you would have that fulfillment that, listen, I've been here, I've done this, I've seen this. I can understand the different views and perspective of life. You can't do that when you've been in one position, one place, all your life. In line to that, my sixth tip would be taking risk. It doesn't matter what aspects in life. And that's the truth. Even if it's dating, even if it's in your finances, but be smart about it in your finances, I beg, in the name of God. Be smart about it. Let's use dating for instance. So you've been dating someone for so long, and you know when like history is attached to relationships, it's harder to break off. That does not mean that it's good for you. So if you're in a situation like that and you think in your head, your brain is communicating to you that, you know, there's somewhere there that you know that you need to get up and leave, but then because you have that fear in you that, oh, I can't go because, you know, what if I don't find somebody else? What if, I mean, we spent so long together. What if this? What if that? And we've been together from like what, when I was 22 or 23, and then now I'm like 28. Like, where do I start to pick myself up? I'm old. Those thoughts, that's your actual problem, not even the actual situation that you're in. So the risk would be to stand up and leave. This is just in the relationship aspect, but I'm talking about all aspects of life. At this point, whether you like it or not, in your 20s, you don't even have a lot to lose, if I'm being honest. In your 30s, in your 40s, you've accumulated so much in your 20s and in your 30s that you begin to think twice before you make, you know, before you take risk or make certain decisions. Let me circle back on your career, because you know I talked about your passion earlier. Your passion basically could also be your hobby. So if you like photography, if you have like that little love for, you know, makeup, for instance, that's what I meant by, you know, being an expert in that, try to learn more and monetize it. So let's talk about your main career. There are people that actually turn their hobbies into career, which that I love. And if that's you, you need to start doing that. If you're the kind of person that you don't have interest in that level, please drop it. I mean, the professional side of your career, drop it, and then stick with your hobby and actually make sure that you succeed at doing your hobby. If you want to do both together, maybe your career and your hobby, your 20s is when you begin to make that balance work. Make sure you're sure on, you know, what you want to do. If you're not, find it. Let me say, I think this is the 8th point right now. I don't know if it's the 8th or the 7th, but always learn to say no. I mean, I know this is generally in life, but I want to just put it in here. Learn to say no. Not everyone should have access to you. Learn to create healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries? Boundaries. In your life, in your 20s or your 30s, learn to create boundaries with people. Learn to embrace being alone, owning your space, protecting your energy and vibe. You should never be a people pleaser. When you're not in the mood for something, you're not in the mood for something. When you don't want to be somewhere, you don't want to be somewhere. When you're not interested in something, you're not interested in something. My last tip would be, live your life to the fullest, especially in your 20s. Listen, all around, 30s, 40s, just live your life. Because you know what? We only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Just don't be stupid. With all that being said, I don't want this video to be long. I just wanted to just say my mind, share my piece, drop it and leave. I too need to actually take like most of this advice that I just gave to you. Trust me, I'm doing that. That's the reason why I wanted to share, so you all can know that you're not alone. And these things, they need to be shared. They always need to be talked about, so a lot of us can actually be comfortable in like sharing, knowing what we're doing, knowing that we're not alone and all that stuff. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope this video actually helped you in some way. I hope you're able to watch this video and make, even if it's the tiniest change in your life, I hope this video gave you that eye-opening experience or that eye-opening moment for you to do something different in your life, especially being a woman in your 20s or your 30s. Actually, it doesn't matter, but just making a change in your life, growing up, leveling up, and doing better than what you're doing right now. I just hope this video helps you in that way. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Honestly, I would really love to hear from you guys, what you think, what you're struggling with, because definitely we're all struggling. I am struggling a lot, so I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram, which is going to be linked in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will definitely see you in my next one. Bye.